The Cremator, not exactly what you would expect, but how does it perform compared to something like the regular Flamer? Well, firstly, what is it? It's the Cremator, and let's call it a combination of an AGL and a Flamer. That's about the best way to describe it because yes, it is single fire. It launches mini fireballs essentially, so it's definitely a super cool and unique addition to the Flamer family, but it's actually hard to compare it to the Flamer because it serves a very different purpose. While the Flamer is an insanely powerful weapon, and if you think about it, it's actually also very economical when it comes to its fuel usage, because if you have a good roll and build for it, enemies die in a very short burst, so you're not spending a lot of fuel and the enemies are dropping way more than you're spending, so it's not hard to keep it fed, but its downside is that it is close range. Very close range, and you will go through a large amount of fuel against bosses, but that's pretty common for any weapon really, but it excels at single target damage. The Flamer, the Holy Fire, they're just insanely awesome weapons to have and use. The Cremator on the surface looks very similar. It's got great damage and insane DOT number there, which turns out to be rather underwhelming, and doesn't really DOT, and it uses fuel, just like the Flamer does, but it serves a very different purpose. The Cremator excels at range and AoE. This thing is essentially a Flamer sniper. While the regular Flamer is great for single target close quarters, the Cremator is distance large groups. That's what it excels at. Now, of course, it's good against single targets, but nowhere near the level of the Flamer, but that's fine because we already have the Flamer. So this is something new and serves a different purpose. If it didn't, it would have just stolen the Flamer spot, and then that leaves us with no new option at the end of the day. It is single fire mode as well with its fireballs, so its DPS is also slower than the Flamer, and it costs 15 fuel per shot. So if you're using this against regular enemies, averaging like 2-3 shots, 30 fuel for regular mobs, that's kind of expensive and nowhere near the efficiency of the regular Flamer. But for large groups of enemies, that's where it can save you on the fuel, and it gives you way more distance because it's just got that really good range. This also feels like a heavy gun that's joined the Plasma Caster in actually being okay to use in a VATS build. If you got a VATS focused roll on a Cremator, whether it's more crit damage or hit chance, cheaper VATS cost, AP replenish, there's tons of options, but it could actually work out really well. So it also gives players another heavy option for VATS, and there's not a lot of those in the heavy gunner corner, so that's definitely an interesting way to use it as part of some builds. It also does just look really cool, and it's always nice to get a new weapon that's usable and you aren't locked into a legendary role, which is usually a terrible role. So the Cremator is definitely a great choice to go for on the latest season. At the moment, there was one mod available for it. I don't know if more will become available later on down the line, but assuming more mods do unlock for it, then hey, we'll get even more options for it further on. So there could be yet more to come for the Cremator, but let me know what you think of it in the comments if you've been having fun with it. But for now, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.